remember hearing the story of a woman in India who was upset and troubled that her son was eating way too much sugar. No matter how much she would scold him, the young boy continued to eat sugar and to indulge his sweet tooth. And so, totally frustrated, she decided to take the young boy, her son, to see the famous teacher Gandhi. The mother was very eager, expectant that he could solve the problem. And so she approached the teacher with her son and said, "Sir, my son eats way too much sugar, and it's not good for his health. Would you please advise him to stop eating it?" And Gandhi there listened to the woman attentively, carefully. And then he turned and spoke directly to the boy. And he said, "Go home and come back in 2 weeks." And the woman was like let down. She was disappointed. She wondered why. Like, why wouldn't he just tell my son to stop eating sugar? But she took her son by the hand and went home. So 2 weeks later, she returned with him. And Gandhi, seeing them, he motioned for them to come forward. And this time again, he looked directly at the boy, and this is what he said: "Boy, you should stop eating sugar. It is not good for your health." Remarkably, the boy nodded and promised that he would not continue this habit any longer. And like stunned, the boy's mother turned to Gandhi and asked, "Why didn't you tell him that 2 weeks ago?" And Gandhi smiled. He said, "Because 2 weeks ago, I was still eating sugar myself." We hear Jesus, our great master and teacher, say, "Can a blind person guide a blind person?" And further, he asks, "How can you notice a splinter in your brother's eye and yet not perceive the wooden beam in your own?" In other words, if we want to be able to give advice, if we want to be good teachers, if we want to see others become what we would like to see them become, more saintly in this way or that way, we must make that journey first. Who is the best and most effective teacher? It's not the one who knows everything just merely in their head, or how to say it, or to say it with, much vigor. But it's the one who embodies what they are teaching. We see this in Gandhi. He would not allow himself to give advice unless he himself was living it. In a few days, we begin the season of Lent. And this week, we have Ash Wednesday. This is a gift. It is the time for you and for me to humbly grow in walking our walk as Christians, as other Christs in the world, our community, our parish here, in our homes. If we want to impact others with our faith, to lead them to Christ and holiness and to the church, the place to begin is right here in our own lives, our own hearts, our own minds. I've referred to it before. It's that striking story of that great author, G.K. Chesterton, once asked to write the article with the title, "What's Wrong with Our World Today?" And think we might be flooded with many thoughts and ideas and well, this is wrong with them, and this is wrong with them over here, and if only this would happen. What's wrong with the world today? Maybe write a book. G.K. Chesterton came back with just 4 words. Dear sirs, I am. What's wrong with the world? I am. Our church and our world community needs Christians who live more like Christ. And it begins right here, right here. Living more like Christ in unceasing prayer, willingness to fast, to do penance for our sins and the sins of the world, for others, and that generosity to give. To give not from our leftovers, but to give from actually out of our own need. This Lent for us to ask, how do we plan, or how might we plan to live more fully like Christ and to be another Christ for others in the world?